Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie a fly designed by my good friend Chris Walklet. This is the Walklet Earlybird Hendrickson. And I'm going to tie this on a number 16, number 573, lively leg lip splitter 573, size 16. This is a hopper nymph hook. So you got that curved hook there, and it's one extra strong and two extra long. And the reason I'm using this two extra long is because the hooks 2X means it would be a size 12 shaft length, shank length. I'm going to put it tight in the vise, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bend this hook. We're going to take that front 1/3 of the hook and bend it up. Tighten the vise. Use a needle nose pliers. And you might bend the back side there a little bit. Just kind of push that down. I'm going to go a little bit further with it. I'm not worried about breaking it. So we have the hook. There we go. There we go, straighten that out. Now the materials we're going to use gray thread. And this is like, actually this is 8/0 Hemingway. The label came off it. We're going to use blue dun microfibbits for the tail. We're going to use a special blend of Hendrickson dubbing. And for the wing, all the books call for a barred wood duck flank. So this is what you would use, but Hendricksons, they tend to have dark wings. So what I'm going to do is, here's a small bag of the wood duck flank and the barred wood duck. And when you're talking barred wood duck, a lot of times this is what they're referring to, is these bars on here. But if you look down here at the bottom, there is just the right amount of dark on those feathers right there. You can see the white, and there's just the right amount of dark on those feathers to tie a fly. So I'm actually going to use that feather for this. I'm going to take one out. I don't really recommend that you use these. Well, I think the only way you're going to get them is if you know somebody that hunts ducks. But this dark feather is just going to be just the right color, I think. I was talking to Chris on the phone the other day, and we were discussing this fly. And the only real modification that I'm doing from what I discussed is putting a feather wing on. Chris uses deer hair for the wing, and that will actually help float it better if you're going to be fishing in more ripply water. And the last thing is we're going to use a blue dun hackle, a dark blue dun hackle. So we're going to start out by putting a base of thread on the hook, and you could start somewhere on that top slant. And we're going to bring this down to the tail area. Put that tail on first. We're going to put the wing on right before the hackle. And I take it till the thread is hanging just inside the barb. Now the books say to use a blue dun hackle for the tail, and I'm going to use these blue dun microfibbits. And I'm not going to skimp on these. I'm going to take probably about 15 of them. Kind of want something pretty stiff and sturdy to hold that back end right at the surface film. I'm going to make that tail about the length of the flat before I bent it. I'm going to hold them to my side a bit, and when I take that first loose loop and pull it straight down, it should sit right on top. Check the size. There we go. That's better. Then I'm going to put a wrap underneath the tail. That actually helps to lock it in also by putting that wrap under the tail. You go ahead and remove the excess. You can see I got a pretty good bunch of those microfibbits. But if you don't know this already, all microfibbits are is a paintbrush. Here's a paintbrush right here. And that's all they are. Microfibbits are probably what they sweep off the floor. Now we're also going to put a rib in there. And Chris recommended to use an olive rib. I'm just going to use an 8/0 thread, olive thread for that rib. So I just took a piece, whatever, 7-8 inches. I'm going to fold it in half around my thread and bring that right up in there. Hold it there and bring that back to the edge. There we go. I'm going to turn my hook over so I can use the dubbing. Now the dubbing, I said, was a special blend, and this is all Hemingway hair dubbing. It is 3/5 amber, 1/5 cream, and 1/5 gold, or golden. We're going to go ahead and get this on. And it's kind of, Hendricksons are a little bit funny where they're a brighter color when they first hatch, but they turn darker quicker. But the freshly hatched ones are pretty, they got a decent amount of amberish color in there. You can check out Chris's videos. Actually, if you look at his Earlybird video, which he's tying this fly, at the beginning you can see a good example of Hendricksons that are freshly hatched floating down. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this. And that's going to be good right to the bend. And I'm going to take my rib and I'm going to probably give this like three palmering wraps. 1, 2, and 3. I just turn it so I can see the point of that hook better. And we're going to secure that, and we'll remove the rest of this rib. Now, you can tie the rest of it with it like this, or you could take your hook and go ahead and readjust it so that that bend is now on the flat. There we go. Now, like I said, the books call for the lemon wood duck flank for the wings, and also, like I said, I think that the wings are darker. So I'm going to just take this one, just pull off that fluff. Now, the nice thing about this is that wing should be about the size of the dark section, maybe a little less, but that gives me a good a good indicator to where to tie it in. I'm going to tie it in with the tips going towards the rear. I'm actually going to bring this up just a little bit. We're going to tie that in. Then we can trim off the remainder. And like we discussed, Chris and I discussed, and you can see it on the video of the naturals going down, they're sitting with their front end. Those legs are holding the thorax high off the water, but the abdomen is still low on the water. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. There's a little bit back far on that. And we're going to put a couple of wraps in back. Start holding it up. I'm going to take a little bit more of the dubbing. There we go. Another thing that we discussed was those naturals. The further up into the thorax, the darker it is. The head of the thorax and up towards the head of the... We're going to wrap this in back, and you see it standing up there much better now. But remember, this hook is tilted forward. I'm going to put a little bit more on there. Could even give it a little bit of a darker dubbing at this point. I just want to kind of get that a little bit fatter on there, around that thorax area. And we're about halfway between the wing and the eye right now, and that's where we're going to tie in our blue dun hackle. I'm going to go ahead and prepare this. Going to give it the crew cut. Go ahead and cut these. Come on, there we go. Flip that around and cut that one. Now we're going to tie this in. I'm going to leave a couple of those barbels exposed. There we go. And we're going to leave that thread about halfway to the eye right now. I'm going to put my hackle pliers on there. And you can see that first wrap, we don't have any shooting out towards the rear. Then we're going to put our hackle right in there. Since I'm not using the deer hair for the wing, I kind of want to get this hackle a little bit heavier. Just maybe another 2 wraps. Go ahead and secure that. And we can remove that hackle. Thought it would just break off, but it didn't. There we go with the poke and snip. And I got a couple of them sticking forward. I'm going to take my half hitch, give it a double half hitch, and fold those hackles back and clear that head. Get them in the back where they're going to do the most good there. And we could wrap our head. There we go. Take our whip finish. trim that off. Put a little head cement on there. Set this properly into the vise. And this is how it's going to ride. I didn't divide the wings. You could if you'd like, but when they're sitting, when the flies are sitting on the water after they're freshly hatched, those wings are together. On the freshly hatched one, you got to remember the wings have to dry off, and when they're wet from hatching, they're not separated so much. It takes a while before you actually have those X-wings coming down the river. So here we have the Walklet Earlybird Hendrickson. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it on the site, don't be afraid to text me and or leave me a message and let me know what you want. And if it's necessary, I'll give you my phone number so I can talk to you and we can figure out what you're looking for. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.